run your game and ruin it.
Make the most of your money with high yield cash from Robinhood Gold.
But that brings us to our first recurring issue, and that is disappointment. When the game first went live, we found out that the story was a disaster. The scale of the game was a lot smaller than it was supposed to be, and half of the planets that we were promised weren't even in the game. The story in particular was extremely bad, having terrible writing, zero motivation, zero clarity, zero explanation of anything, and then the game literally told us that it didn't have enough time to explain its own story. Many players were angry about all the broken promises, and although it was clear that the game did have a lot of potential, this was still a disappointing launch. This ultimately damaged the game quite a bit, because as a bunch of players tried it out, many of them just permanently left due to the game under-delivering and being somewhat disappointing. As time went on, many more players continued to quit during the content droughts of the following two expansions. The Dark Below and House of Wolves certainly brought some good things like the Raid and Trials of Osiris, but ultimately they didn't fix any of the issues that everyone was complaining about. The following year, though, the Taken King expansion actually addressed all of those issues and vastly improved every single thing about the game. This was a huge highlight, and the game was a whole lot better for a while, but then we just entered yet another content drought. You might think that we have content droughts in the modern game, but these content droughts back in the day had no seasonal missions, no sandbox updates, no new loot or activities, no new story, literally nothing happened for months, and this caused the game to bleed and lose quite a lot of players. Even though they enjoyed the Taken King, such an extended period of zero content would cause many of them to lose their habit of playing, and then ultimately never return to the game. The sequel game, called Destiny 2, was set to launch the year after, but we were once again disappointed as the developers at Bungie decided to delay the game for an additional year. Instead of Destiny 2, we got Rise of Iron, which was just okay. It didn't move anything forward in a meaningful way, but overall it was just a good expansion and people really liked the new raid. At the very end of Destiny 1, we had the Age of Triumph event, which was indeed awesome, and it set the expectations extremely high for Destiny 2. Unfortunately, though, these expectations would not be met the following year. People thought that the launch of Destiny 1 was pretty rough, but somehow they managed to make the launch of Destiny 2 even worse. Although the story was quite excellent, everything else like the loot, the PvP, the activities, the subclasses, the ammo system, the weapons, the armor, was a complete disaster. Once again, this was a period where our expectations were extremely high, and then we had to come crashing down to a disappointing reality. We assumed that Bungie would have learned from their past mistakes, but unfortunately we got a half-baked product that was worse than Destiny 1 in many ways. In fact, some players were so disappointed that they wanted to just go back to Destiny 1 and abandon D2 altogether. This disappointment surrounding the launch was catastrophic for player retention, much like it was during the original launch of 2014. This was only amplified because many players were giving Destiny a second chance, but then they felt like they got burned by Bungie for a second time. In addition to the returning
We're
players,
just sitting here at the black screen for how fucking long, bro?
players who were trying out the game, and especially with Destiny 2 coming to PC, this was our big chance to go mainstream and become one of the biggest games on the market. For a few days, we actually did succeed, with the game actively surpassing 1 million concurrent players. All of the big streamers were covering the game, it was everywhere on the news, and this was a huge moment for the community. Soon enough, though, the hype died down, and we all noticed the flaws, like the token system, the microtransactions, the slow gameplay, and the complete lack of endgame content. The player count plummeted to dangerously low levels, and especially with the release of the terrible Curse of Osiris expansion.
I've been sitting here waiting for the shit. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Am I know you fucking lying.
Bungie absolutely cooked the following year, and they delivered Forsaken, one of the greatest expansions the game.
Are you there? Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm sitting here waiting for the match to start talking about, are you still there? I'm sitting right fucking here waiting for